True Health Forever podcast, where we empower your physical, social, spiritual, and economic health. Consume this content every week with positive energy and good intentions. Join me, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game, and my starlit queen, Sinclair, the health nerd, and share this with those you love. You are strong, you are beautiful, and you are ready to live your best life. What up, what up, what up? Welcome back, 2022. We are back at the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. See, we're getting used to the different sides.
Me, I got to switch hands now.
Yeah, that's the same. Oh, you got to switch hands for the handshake.
Yeah, because I can't do this one. That feels weird.
Isn't that weird? You're right. You're right.
So I gotta.
You a dancer. You'll get it. But I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game. And as usual, I have with me my beautiful, my bride, my dancing, my mood forever queen herself. Please introduce yourself.
What's up, everybody? My name is Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd. Here joining you on a wonderful Sunday afternoon. Yeah. And it is a pretty nice day outside.
It's a nice day.
Yes, got the sun. We got some vitamin D and our little walk earlier. It felt good.
Indeed. And before we get into it, Queen, hit us with the did you know for the day.
Well, King, did you know that cold exposure can help you burn more fat?
Explain.
So cold exposure increases the amount of brown fat within the body. There are a million different types of, not a million, there are a lot of different types of fat within the body. And cold exposure increases the amount of brown fat. And brown fat actually burns more calories than white fat. So 1/10 of a pound of brown fat can actually burn 300 more calories than the same amount of white fat in the body.
Interesting.
Yes. So cold exposure, get yourself an ice bath, get yourself a cold shower. It doesn't have to be, anything too crazy. There's also cryotherapy if you really wanted to get that. They use basically nitrogen to really freeze up all your fat cells. But it can be very moderate. It can just be, simply sitting in a colder room than normal. That over a long period of time can also make a difference. So you're trying to burn some fat, get yourself a cold shower in there, jump in a cold pool, get yourself an ice bath, some type of cold exposure to help you burn that fat.
There it is. There is the did you know for the day. Now, I got two quick things that I want to talk about with this did you know. The first one is when you were first saying cold exposure, I wasn't completely sure if you were talking about the cold as in the disease
cough.
The virus. Or the temperature, and later on you went into the temperature. I was like, okay, cool. I just want to make sure. You'd be like, cold exposure is good for. I was like, is it?
It suppresses your appetite.
All right, this is a different. Did you know? Okay,
go ahead and get coughed
on. Now the second thing that I want to talk about is all those times that I didn't want to turn on the heater. What I really wanted to do for us, Queen, what I was really helping us do was burn more fat. No. Don't. I knew even back then. I was like, don't touch the heater because I want to burn more calories and I want more brown fat. So for all you parents out there, for all you just people out there who don't like to run the heater, or you don't
because you're cheap,
because you're healthy and you are intentional about the amount of brown fat versus white fat that you have in your body, and you care deeply about the brown fat and the metabolic efficiency of the people within your household. And that's why you decide not to run the heater. Go ahead and keep that in your back pocket. I'm saving somebody today. Okay. We good? But that let me get back on track, right? But we were talking about fat burning. We're talking about intentional things that you can do in your life in order to just increase your body's efficiency and just overall health. And something that we are currently doing, we know that Jair over there is also doing, and a lot of people around the world during this time are doing the Daniel fast, right? Or fasting in some type of capacity. So today we're going to talk about kind of our experience with the Daniel fast and our approach to it, but also some things that we're gonna maybe fast from separate from food. Like maybe there's people we're gonna fast from, TV shows, music, different type of habits. So we're gonna go through the 4 pillars of True Health Forever, holistic health, and we'll kind of have a nice active conversation on the different things that we are going to be intentional about consuming and intentional about not consuming during 2022. Queen, are you ready?
Are you ready for some podcast?
All right, we're out. Talking about episode 90. Don't disrespect the TH4 podcast. We on episode 93. We are in the bags.
We almost triple digits.
We almost to the triple digits. Shout out to y'all. We're gonna do some, to show our appreciation, to our thanks for the folks that have been rocking with us since episode 1. It's been a dope long journey for sure. Since 2019, we've been doing the podcast every year, getting better. Almost every other month we getting better. You know what I'm talking about. But Queen, getting into it, I got introduced to the Daniel fast from Whitney from Eat Plants and Prosper. That's kind of who introduced it to me. But you have been on the kind of fasting wave, fasting tips since PH. So it's like 2018, right? So can you just talk very briefly about why you kind of started the idea of fasting back then and what you've kind of grown into as far as what fasting means to you now?
Yeah. I am pretty sure I got introduced to it by Sean, Model Health Show. The idea of intermittent fasting, which I hadn't had any experience with fasting before that time period. And I think I thought of it as starving yourself. Oh, that's what you're doing. You're starving yourself. Like, why would I do that?
Yeah. Whenever I think of fasting, I think of like kind of like social justice movements and how like Gandhi fasted and other kind of social leaders would fast and not eat anything and like only drink water maybe in order to kind of prove a point.
Yeah.
And that's what I saw as fasting.
Yeah. And I was more familiar with religious fasting. And I hadn't tried it myself, but that's really the only experience I've had with maybe friends who were doing fasting. But yeah, that's how I got introduced to it from the health side, first through another podcast, Model Health Show, and really started doing some research on, the fact that there are health benefits to fasting. And what initially drew me to it was the weight loss aspect of, it helps you like burn the excess fat that you're not able to burn if you're eating all day. And to me, that just made a lot of sense. Okay.
Why does it do that?
Because you're basically, if you think about like you eat your food, right? It especially when you eat like carbohydrates, it breaks down into glucose molecules. Those glucose molecules get released into your blood and you're able to use it for energy. But the stuff that you're not used has to be stored somewhere. Our bodies are very intelligent. So they take the glucose that is not actively being used right now and they store it. And it either gets stored as glycogen or it gets stored as fat. And so when you think about like, how can you, if you're continually eating throughout the day, all day, every day, you're never actually able to tap into the stuff that you have stored away. Yes. If you think about like bears, right, when they hibernate, they eat a whole bunch of food before because their bodies are going to store it. And then they go for however long they go without eating because their body's able to use the stuff that they have stored on their bodies. So our bodies do something similar, but we never have that built-in time period except for when we're sleeping. We don't really have that built-in time period to where we're able to tap into the stuff that we have stored. Gotcha. So it's kind of like being intentional about giving your body a break from eating and digesting food. Digestion is a very taxing. It's one of the most taxing things that our bodies do. So being intentional about giving your body a break from that is essentially what fasting is.
Gotcha. So first off, I always love when you get into your nerd health bag, when you just start talking about lactogen and all that other stuff. I'm just like, I see you, Queen. You know what I'm saying? You out here doing it. Do your thing. Keep using
Thanks.
those big words. Um, number two. So we kind of talked about what our perspective of fasting was prior, right? The kind of the religious fasting and the social justice or social protest fasting, to where you're virtually starving yourself or not eating a lot. What does our version of fasting look like, or the version of fasting that Whitney kind of introduced us to, or that Sean introduced
Mhm.
you to? What does that look like?
It's basically kind of like fasting from indulgent things. You think about like the Daniel fast. So not you're fasting from certain things, almost like serving as like a detox, basically.
Mhm.
So the same way, like if you think about calories or just eating things in general, fasting doesn't there's a whole slew of different ways you can fast. So the fast that we're doing right now is a fast from sugar. It's a fast from processed food. It's a fast from fried foods, a fast from alcohol, a fast from animal products, right? A lot of the things that do the body harm, or can do the body harm. You're fasting from those things so that basically everything you're putting into your body is healing. You're right. You're putting in healing foods that are going to do your body good for that set amount of time, so your body can basically detox from a lot of the uh, toxins that are
Yeah.
in the processed food, the sugars, the alcohols, all that stuff.
Nice. Thanks for the breakdown, Queen.
Mhm.
Appreciate you. Appreciate you. So let us know if you have any questions. Feel free to put it inside the comments. If you are listening on Spotify specifically, we can add a nice little poll and a section in there for you to engage with us on Spotify and ask questions and participate in the polls, which is kind of a cool feature that I want to test out. So if you're listening on Spotify, check that out. If you're watching live on YouTube, put in a comment. But I want to talk about, Queen, kind of the four different pillars of health that we define, and intentional things that we can either consume, right? It can be food, it can be actions, it can be just frequencies, or intentional things that we are going to not consume, right? That we're going to fast from for each of these categories.
Mhm.
I think the easiest is going to be physical health, because that's literally what we're doing right now. So maybe we can start there and then just kind of work our way through just being intentional, right? 2022, first off, there's a lot of twos in there. It's a lot of power, a lot of intentionality, a lot of foundation work to be going on there. So I just see 2022 as like a really good foundational year
Mhm.
for us specifically, but I think for everyone else out there watching as well. So the more intention you can put into this year, the more kind of negative energy you can avoid, brush off a little bit. Heisman, get out of here, negative energy.
Matrix.
Oh no. Speaking of which, The Matrix was highly disappointing. Um, I don't want to get too far into a tangent here, but the Matrix movie was probably the most disappointing movie of 2021,
Yes. Yes.
because the hype was so there, and like the trilogy beforehand is great. It's fire, legendary to this day. To this day, still still one of the best, I think, trilogies. And then that fourth movie just came in and just kind of disrespected the entire trilogy, in my opinion.
A little
So
bit. A little bit.
that was
A
hurtful.
lot of it.
I'm gonna get back on track, but if you go detox from a movie, you
That's
can
the
you can
one.
get
Don't bother.
that movie out your life.
Hmm.
Okay. But Queen, getting into it, physical health. Let's start there. You already kind of said the things that we are fasting from.
Mhm.
Can you talk about maybe some things that you want us, as the health captain of our household, what are some things that you want us to be intentional about consuming in 2022?
Hmm. I mean, I want to make sure that so we start starting the year off strong, eating a very like vegetable, plant-based heavy diet.
Mhm.
And I want to make sure that regardless of what we do for the rest of the year, we don't lose that. So I know if Whitney was on here, she'd be like, "Go vegan."
She
Uh,
would. Heavy.
which I'm still not committing to, but he's more willing than I am.
Hey, Whitney, if I had the power in our household to command the food, I would do it. But the way the head chef is set up
Until
in
you're
my
burnt thin.
household, Huh?
Until your birthday.
Yeah, it's my birthday. Maybe my birthday, I'll go ahead and eat a nice steak and yeah, and potatoes, eggs, pancakes. I can do coconut syrup on there. But long story short, if it was up to me, Whitney, you know what I'm saying? We would be 90% vegan. 90%.
Anywho, I
Chef
want to.
Leo, if it was up to me, Chef Leo, you feel me? That was a good episode.
It was.
We would be 90%.
I need that hemp cheese recipe, Chef Leo.
Yeah.
But anyways, I think that moving forward, whatever we do, I want to make sure that we don't lose that plants still kind of being the center and the focus of our diet.
Yeah.
That I want to make sure that we do, and we'll sprinkle in the animal products, you know, where we want to. But yeah, I think that's something that I want us to be intentional about this year, is making sure we're getting in that good plant fuel.
Nice.
Because I think we both know that we feel good when we're eating a lot of plants.
Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything on my side. I think for sure things I want to stay away from is dairy, right? Even after we're off of this 21-day fast. For me, I feel my body, dairy is just not really a friend of me. You know, it's not a friend to me. No, it's an enemy. Red meat is also something I want to kind of stay away from unless it's a special occasion. I feel like my body just really doesn't vibe too well when I eat a lot of red meat. So that's another thing that I think I want to stay away from. Things that I want to for sure consume. If y'all been listening, you know our current drug of choice, coconut water. Coconut water is definitely something that I want to continue to consume. One, because I feel like it's good for me. It's hydrating me in a different way, but also it feels a little bad because it is a little bit sweet.
You know, you've come far when coconut water feels.
Yeah, but when coconut water feels a little bit bad, you just might be a health nerd.
I've done good.
Yeah, well done. That's a whole nother thing. Like signs that you just might be a health nerd.
Right. Yeah. When coconut water is dessert.
Yeah, you just might be a health nerd. When you no longer bake your cookies, you might be a health nerd.
I'm laughing because we have freezer cookies now.
Change your life. Listen. All right. Getting back to it though. Next, social health, which I think this can be a really good one when we think about things that we're being intentional about consuming and not consuming, because we're consuming a lot of things socially that may or may not be good for us, right? So I'm happy to go first, Queen. But when we think about things that you either want to intentionally consume that are going to be good for your social health, or things that you want to intentionally fast from, think about at least one for each. Okay. For me, I'll start negative and positive. Things that I definitely want to fast from are people who try to put limits on me based on either their own experiences or based on their own perceptions of what they think I can do. But I'm really fasting away from people who try to put limits on me. Again, 2022, like I'm really just trying to think big, trying to dream big. I think our theme for this year is no limits, or no limits came up somehow. What was the theme for this year? Is it?
It's not Free the King.
Is it Free the King?
I don't know. I don't
think
know
Free
that
the King.
We actually zeroed in on one theme.
Yeah, okay. That's something we need to come up with a theme for the year. Last year was Free the Queen. Boom, that happened. We manifested.
Me was one of them.
Monetize me is definitely a concept. But long story short, like this year, we're really trying to double down on our business models and really think outside the box to how we can scale up the businesses and really break the limits and the molds that we've put on ourselves over the years, right? So yeah, I'm really staying away from anybody who's either putting limits on me based on them or even just saying stuff that makes me put limits on myself. That might be even worse. Like if you somehow can influence me to make me think that I have some type of limit that's not there, like you can make me think there's a glass ceiling, then you definitely need to go because you're impacting my psyche, right? Now things that I want to for sure consume socially and I want in my life, I would say on the opposite side of that, people who force me to dream. I love talking and having conversations with people that make me literally see a different business venture, make me see myself in a different light, make me see just the world in a different light. Like having those dreamer, visionary conversations. Love those. So if that's you, please stay in my orbit for sure and keep having those conversations with me. I would say also, um, I really like our walks.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like our walks. I think those are usually just good. I think I don't know, one we talk about this. It kind of makes me feel old in a good way.
Mhm.
It makes me feel like because we can be like literally it's a Monday, it's a Tuesday, it may be 8 a.m., maybe 9 a.m., and maybe in the middle of the day. And the fact that I'm able to have the time, the health to just in the middle of the workday, I can just walk around in the neighborhood with my queen. We can talk about literally anything. Sometimes we get a nice little workout in, sometimes we just walk.
Mhm.
And I really like those. So yeah,
Yep.
keep those in my life.
They're wholesome.
Yeah, they are wholesome. And then lastly, I would say books. I'm gonna keep books in my life.
Do we have a choice? They're everywhere.
They are everywhere. They're not going anywhere. We did, have a slight conversation. I'm no longer going to be purchasing as many books as I did in 2021 because 2021 I went buck crazy and I purchased a lot of books. But still want to make sure that on a daily basis, which is now in my habits, that I'm reading for like 5-10 minutes a day, just getting that stimulation, learning about different things. Queen,
Yes,
what
King.
you got for us?
So things that I want to consume would be affirmations.
Mm,
I definitely want to continue to work on um just feeding myself positive energy, especially going into this very entrepreneurship driven year. I need to make sure that I'm staying in that positive mindset.
mm,
So I think that affirmations, self affirmations, but even reading them, you know, so I think there's some hashtags I want to go follow,
mm,
just so that what no matter what I'm doing, I can be consuming those positive messages so that I can feed them to myself and know that like whatever, like you said, like dreaming, whatever
yeah.
dreams and aspirations I have, they can absolutely and will absolutely come true. So affirmations are definitely something that I want to be consuming socially, and then something that I want to fast from is gossip.
Mhm.
Yeah. Not that I'm a heavy gossiper, but I think just I'd want to be very intentional about where my energy is going.
Yeah.
And that still takes a lot of energy towards literally nothing. And towards talking about other people or other situations that again have no effect on me. So I want to make sure that I'm putting all of the energy that I do have towards me, us, our goals, our businesses. So yeah, I think that like if it doesn't have anything to do with me or the other person on the phone,
Yeah.
towards building one of us up, I'm good.
So when you're on the phone with said person who may or may not be gossiping, you know who you are. What is going to be your mechanism to avoiding that conversation, changing that conversation? Because I feel like I'm in agreement with you that like I'm really not trying to hear about gossip, but I also don't like to be rude
Mhm,
sometimes. So it's like if I'm talking to someone that I care about and they for some reason they want to talk about gossip, then it's like, all right, well, I mean, we're here, let's talk about it.
mhm.
But yeah, how do you like avoid that conversation?
Well, for one, I think it is something that needs to be set up front. Like, hey, this year I'm trying to limit gossip, so just
Mhm.
keep that in mind. But again, if it still has something to do with the other person, like if they're venting to me about a situation that they're going through, I'm still a friend. Like I'm still gonna
Gotcha.
listen to that. I'm more just like, oh, so and so, did you hear about so and
Meg
so?
the
And they,
Stallion. Da, da,
yeah,
da.
I'm not. I don't
Gotcha.
care. So yeah, I'm still like wanting to hear about people's lives that I care about. So
Mhm.
I'm not saying like, oh no, sorry, I don't want to hear about that. But yeah, I want to let's have it something to do with you, right?
Mhm.
But if it doesn't have anything to do with you, if it doesn't have anything to do with me, then let's not even waste the time. I'd probably just bring the conversation back to like, so how's work?
Mhm.
"Oh, so how's your mom? So how's so and so? Just to bring it back.
Gotcha. That kind of motivated something in me that I don't know if I want to get into fully, but I think something else that I may want to sidestep is people who want to talk to me about problems but don't want to hear the solutions.
Mm, mm,
Yeah. I think if not this year, maybe next year, I'm gonna try to avoid those conversations. 'Cause I think those can be a lot of time, and like you said, like it's a lot of it's energy. And me, I'm a solution oriented person, and if I can't give you a solution, and I'm just like supposed to be there listening, then I'm like I can't do what I know I can do. You know what I'm saying? So it
I
just puts me in
do.
an interesting position, huh?
I do, but I also know we know that there have been those times where it's like if something is fresh, like know that they may want your solution. It just may not be the time right now.
True.
They need to go through their emotions. They need
Mm,
to, cycle through it because it's like you still have to be in the right mindset to even be
mm,
open to solutions. Otherwise, it's kind of like, okay, yeah, that's cool. I'll come
mm,
back to you in a week when I'm ready to actually act on those.
gotcha.
You know, so
Mm,
I like at the beginning when you're like, you ask me like,
mm,
do you want me to just listen or do you want solutions so that you
mm,
know how you should be acting in the conversation. Should you be thinking about solutions because they want them, or
mm.
should you just be a friend, just
Mm,
listen?
yeah, I hear you. I think only you're gonna get that treatment, right? And
Mm.
when I said this, I wasn't talking about you. And if I was talking about you, I would have said the queen. I would have said that straight up. I wasn't talking about you. But yeah, I feel like I can't give that type of time to a lot of people
I
because
got
then
you.
I end up having a lot of those conversations, and now it's like 3 hours, 4 hours are gone of me just listening. And I am a friend, I'm there, but if I can't be active in the friendship, then I feel like I'm not able to do what I need to do
Mm.
in order to really feel the energy. So and then I just end up listening for an hour, listening for 2 hours. That I could have wrote a book in that 2 hours. Like literally, I could have wrote a book in that 2 hours.
Hmm.
So yeah, that's just something that again thinking about is it's probably not gonna come up this year, but maybe next year that may be a social fasting thing that I do. Anything else for social fasting or social health and things that we're fasting from before we move on to spiritual?
I think that covers it.
Yeah. Okay. So dive it into spiritual health. This one's probably the most difficult one for us to like talk about in a tangible way because it's
Hmm.
literally spiritual, so it's not tangible.
Hmm.
But same kind of conversation, right? When you're thinking about things that you want to intentionally consume that are going to be good for your consciousness, good for the way that you perceive yourself, your self-love, your self-confidence, or your spiritual well-being. What are those things that you can intentionally consume versus the thing that you can intentionally avoid? And I'll again kick us off and then throw it over to the queen. But this tuning fork, I
Hmm.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the tuning fork. And we had a semi deep conversation the other day where I said, growing up, and I mean, to this day, I still must sound a little weird now, but hey, if you're listening to the podcast, you rock with us, so
You
it's all
already know
good.
he's
Yeah,
weird.
you already know what it is. Um, but when it's really quiet, right? Especially inside the house, but anywhere else, when it's really quiet, I still hear a slight frequency,
Hmm.
a slight tone that's just like constant. It's a "Beep" type tone. I've heard that, for the most part of my life when it was consistently quiet. And growing up, I used to like try to avoid that sound, right? Because that sound was annoying. I didn't understand that sound. I didn't know what it was. So I would, play the TV in the background while I sleep, play the radio, just try to fill the noise somehow so I didn't hear that constant sound. But then the other day, not the other day, this was the other day when we had the first conversation, but at this point, maybe a month or so ago, the thought kind of came to me is like, what if that sound, that frequency is the frequency of the universe? What if that sound is literally me listening to that? I'm able to download voices from my ancestors. I'm able to download business ideas. I'm able to download relationship advice. I'm able to download just different ideas and pull them out from the universe from listening to that tone. So then that got me into tuning forks and just the frequencies and the power of different levels of frequencies and all that stuff. Long story short, I think being intentional about the frequencies and the tones that you're putting inside your body. And for me, I got the 432 hertz tuning fork, that is the healing frequency. So to be able to meditate, hit it and then just listen to that frequency. And the other day when you were giving me a massage and you were doing the frequency, that was just relaxing. If you notice, like I knocked out
yeah.
after that. Like
That was one of those, when you give a massage and you're like, oh yeah, this is good. This is good. You're welcome.
It's that one. Pay
This
me.
is it.
Yeah, but that felt really good. So for sure, one thing that I'm putting into my habits and repertoire for my own spiritual health is one, meditation, having that silent time to just breathe, just be with myself, but then also using the tuning fork to really just tap into me being focused and using that frequency to heal my body. Something that I'm avoiding still is listening to the like radio on a consistent basis. Like I don't know last time I listened to the actual radio. Um, and yeah, I feel like that might be the top two for my spiritual health. That other than what I've already said. How about you?
I know I was supposed to be thinking of my answer, but I was actively listening to you.
Yeah. Is it because I have a really good podcasting voice?
You do.
Well, thank you.
Have a good voice.
Thank you very much. Been working on it.
Have you? I know. Something I want to be intentional about spiritually. I'm gonna kind of riff off of you. Is silence. Is just having that time period where I'm focusing, where I'm meditating and breathing and just giving myself a break from life, from all the thoughts, from all of the, because I feel like what I noticed for myself is that I have to be intentional about stopping all of the thoughts about what I need to do for the day and the week and the month from flooding to me right when I wake up. I have to be intentional about that because otherwise, yeah, it's like literally like, wake up. Okay, what do I have to do today? I have to do this. I do that. Like I don't know why that is, but that's the first thing that happens when I wake up. And I've been very intentional lately about like, I will literally tell myself, stop. Like have your morning, wake up, drink your water, meditate, go on your walk, and then let all the thoughts come when it's time to actually act on them. Because what I notice is that there will be some days when I literally will like I did this one day last week where I woke up and I was just like all of the thoughts in my head drove me to just jump on the computer and I started working right away. And I did not meditate that day, didn't go on my walk that day, and it was like I didn't do all of the things that I do for me to choose me. And I didn't pour into my cup. Yeah. And I felt that throughout the day. Like I felt like there was just always something I had to do. Those thoughts were always there. And I think I just noticed a very big difference is because I let all those thoughts like just come to me I let it get to me too much and it forced me to just like, okay, let me just do some stuff so that I can at least get those thoughts, out of my head. But yeah, I have to be more intentional about like, I think if I, say the first step is like awareness, right? I think if I'm at least when I wake up, like, okay, I know the thoughts are there and they're probably going to come, but tell yourself, stop. I'm not saying you can't have the thoughts, but allow yourself some time to wake up, to get into the groove before you let all these thoughts and stuff come. So, because it is good to have them, right? Because again, it does drive me to act, to get things done, but that's not what I want to do first thing in the morning. Like first thing in the morning, I want to take my walk, I want to meditate, I want to, get my smoothie, whatever it is. I want to do some stuff for me before I do some stuff for the world.
Yeah, for me, like doing the journal brain dump in the morning helps with that. I feel like my anxiety comes from when I think I'm gonna forget to do something that's important, right? And it's always like seems important. Like I need to post a podcast today at 4 o'clock, or the world's gonna end, Sinclair. But it's like, come on, chill. It'll be okay. Write it down and get it done when it can get done.
Yeah.
So that's a good point, Queen.
And then something that my swag. Something that I want to stay away from. again, I think riffing off of something you said is the the negative thoughts, the limiting myself. I feel like for me, I tend to be the person that's
That's a
telling,
fact.
yeah, that's telling myself that, oh, you can't do this, or you, and that's not possible. Like those are the thoughts that I'm actively fighting on a daily basis. So that's something that if I know I'm already that person in my head, I definitely don't need any outside people or outside influences adding on to that.
No, she does not.
I have enough inner demons to face. So yeah, I definitely want to make sure that I'm fasting from those thoughts being put into my life, and just continue to work on channeling those thoughts and turning them into positive thoughts that can manifest something positive.
Love that one.
I know.
Love that one. Okay, so right now we are wrapping up spiritual, about to head to economic health. Again, really think about for yourself. You're listening, you're watching. What are some intentional things that you can do to feed your social health, feed your physical health, your spiritual health, and economic health? And what are some intentional things that you can avoid? Right. Sometimes inaction or sometimes avoiding something that's detrimental is even better. It could be more impactful than doing the healthy stuff, right?
Mm.
Sometimes it's just not drinking the soda that can help you become healthy. Sometimes it's just not what's not consuming gossip. Here we go. Like sometimes it's just not doing something that can help you get on a different track. So really think intentionally, what are some of those like really small things that can take you and your life to the next level? Economic health, right? Some things, one thing that you want to do intentionally and one thing you want to avoid. I think I want to no, I want to avoid emotional decisions and emotional purchases specifically. I think 2021, and for the most part, because it was like the first full year, you were kind of trapped at home, tons of social media, tons of YouTube ads, tons of webinars that, hey, do you want to make $1 million tomorrow because that you're a good speaker? Yeah,
Yes, yes, I do.
okay. Sign up for this webinar. Oh, great. For just today only, we give you a special deal for $9.97. It's like you can get in a measure of like, okay, well, I'm home. I have access to this money. I have access to the internet. Let me go ahead and sign up for this webinar. Let me buy this ebook. Let me purchase this book. Where I purchased tons of books last year just because I was home and I was like, oh, this sounds like a good topic and it sounds cool. Let me purchase that book. Um, so yeah, I think something that I want to fast away from in 2022 specifically is making emotional purchases and really thinking about, okay, Devon, do you need this?
Mm.
Will this legitimately bring value to your life, to your queen's life, or to your loved ones? And then lastly, the most important, do you actually have time and energy to consume this product, content, whatever, to get the value
Mm.
that it's promising?
That's a good one.
Right? That's the key there because I only have so much time, especially in 2022. So it's like I can't do as many courses, webinars, read as many books as I probably want to. So at the end of the day, yes, it could be a really good deal, but if you don't actually act on the full deal, if you're not consuming the course, you're not, locked into that webinar, you're not able to read that book, then you're not going to get the value. So did you really save money at the end of the day, Devon?
Right.
And then something that I want to be intentional about doing in 2022 is, and I've already messed up a little bit on this, Queen, I know, but it's not giving away too much stuff.
Mm.
I think I'm real good for because like I have good intentions. Like oh, you need a board game? Cool. Hey, I'll donate a board game here. I'll donate books here. I'll show up to a free workshop and do this here. And it's just like, yes, that is good because what I want to give out is valuable and it's impactful, and I feel like people need it. And if you don't have the money to get it, I don't want the money to stop you from getting the impact. But at the end of the day, we are running a business, and we do need to get that income, that revenue to feed our families, to feed the team's families. So when I say yes, I'll do this for free for someone else, then I'm saying no to something that we could have
Mm.
done in the future, or saying no to something that someone on the team could have done. Um, So yeah, I just need to be a little bit more, I think, firm in the value that I'm giving. Um, the latest episode of ET had me thinking a little bit because he was saying how ET, Eric Thomas, hip hop preacher, dope motivational person. But he was saying people who pay me to come speak, they have the privilege and they deserve the ability to pay me my full amount.
Mm-hmm.
They deserve that and they should work to get that.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a different type of approach,
Right.
right? Like one, that's extreme confidence to be able to say to be able to say that, but that's a different mindset to be able to, walk into a space and be like, you deserve to be able to pay me my full amount. That's what you deserve.
Let me tell you what you
Right.
need.
Let me tell you what you need. You need enough money and enough resources to pay me what I deserve.
Yep.
Right. But yeah, that's just a different mindset. I think that's a mindset that I need to grasp and really own in 2022 to be able to break through the limits that I've, maybe put on myself as far as what I'm worth per hour for a workshop, for a speech, for a course, whatever like that. So those are my two things.
What you need to do is start thinking about the people, right? No offense to the people when you say, this is the price for a workshop or whatever. The folks who are saying, sorry, we only got this.
Mm-hmm.
Think of those folks as kind of they're kind of the ones who are putting that last thing on you, telling you actually you're only worth this.
Yeah.
Sorry, I know you thought you were worth that, but you're actually only worth this because that's all we're willing to give you. And if you're trying to fast from those people, be like, okay, well, let me know when you realize my true value, and then come back.
See, my issue with that is, and I know you're probably right. I know you're probably right. But this is good live business coaching, Queen. Hit me. My issue is oh, for those that are listening, she just literally hit me over here.
I tapped his shoulder. That's all.
You're stronger than you know. But my issue with that is, I feel like because I know I was at a point in my life where I legitimately could not afford something. Right. I was literally sleeping in cars because I legitimately couldn't afford access to a room or couldn't afford some things. And I feel like there are people and there are organizations out there that are legitimately just don't have the budget to be able to pay for something. And then there are other people and organizations out there that just want a deal and they just want to steal and they have the money, but they're not willing to pay. And it's like, how do you know who's who? How do you know who's an organization that they literally like they're putting their own money, their own blood, sweat, and tears. They're working long nights and they literally only have $100 or $1,000, $10,000, whatever it is. And this is all I have versus, an organization who has grants, who has access to money, and it's not even their money that they're spending, but they're still nickel and diming every chance they get. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Talk to me, Queen. Talk to me. Coach me.
Live coaching. Yeah. Which one would you call yourself when you, for example, slept in the car?
Yeah, I'm the person who legitimately doesn't have it. I'll put my own blood, sweat, and tears, make it happen no matter how I can. I'm that person for sure.
Did you still go to the conference?
I did still go to the conference.
There you go. You still made it happen.
Interesting. So you're saying the person who doesn't have it,
because you sacrificed somewhere else, right? You were willing to sleep in the car to get to the conference. By the way, I didn't know this was happening. I always because I feel like if I was listening to this, I'd be like, damn, she let him pay for the car.
This is before we were married too. This was college days.
I didn't know about this happening until afterwards. I was upset. Yeah. Anyways, you made sacrifices where you needed to so that you could get what you thought, what you needed, right? So I feel like it could be just a matter of, okay, this is all we have, but they may be able to shuffle some other stuff around. Like, okay, well, maybe we don't need Chick-fil-A at the conference. That's really random, but
it is random. But hey, if you want to take your conference to the next level, food will do it.
It will, but maybe it's just a matter of shifting some stuff around, so that they can pay you what you're worth.
Hey, there it is.
Or maybe what you need to do then is you give yourself one pass for the year or 2 passes, however many you want to do within reason. It should not be more than 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 passes. If I truly believe in it. So I've already used 1 pass this year, or
I know
I'm going to use 1 pass this year. Yeah, we got 2 more.
And it's January 8th. or whatever it
January,
is.
well, one pass is already used
January
up.
9th. Oh, happy Founders Day.
Thanks, Queen. One is already done. Happy Founders Day. Shout out to all my brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Phi Beta Sigma Got so me not. All right, anyway. Yeah, because I still want to be able to, again, I don't want money to be a barrier for people to get the value that I have, but same thing with you. I also have to value myself, and people have to have that same value and respect for me and my time in order to, yeah, do what I can in this world.
Next, think about someone else. Like, oh, that was a really dope compact. Oh, we want to get them too. How much you pay? He told me this, but we told him we only had this. So now the world is thinking that's not really your value because you'll do it for less.
Gotcha. Thanks, Queen. Man, I love live coaching. There it is. Only 3 passes. If you're listening, don't tell anybody else that there's any type of passes out there. The price is the price. All right. Queen, how about you? Economic, health, things that you are going to be intentional about doing versus things you're going to be intentional about not doing.
They kind of go hand in hand. So I want to be intentional about only investing, if that makes sense, or as much as possible spending money on stuff that I know will give me some sort of return. So whether that is I'm investing in my health, or I'm investing like with my money in real estate, like whatever it is, or investing in something that's going to help me take my business to the next level, stuff like that. I want to focus on investing my money, which means I will not be making like frivolous purchases. Just not necessarily in a stage in my life where frivolousness should be happening. So I want to make sure that I'm focusing on the purchases that I am making should be pouring into me in some way, and not just because I felt like it or just because I wanted to. It should have some purpose to it. Yeah.
Nice. And something that, I don't know if that was on the avoid side or something that you're going to intentionally do.
That was both. So I'm going to intentionally spend my money on stuff that is investing into me, which means I will be avoiding purchases that are frivolous.
Boom. There it is. All right. So those are our 4 pillars of holistic health for True Health Forever. We have our economic health, social health, physical health, and spiritual health. Think about, for your own life in 2022 or beyond, what is it that you can do to intentionally pour into those different health pillars, those different health cups, and what are some things that you can intentionally not do, things you can intentionally avoid to also better your health holistically. Okay. Queen, getting into, oh no, we got to do ask declare. Almost forgot. You thought I was gonna forget. Ask,
I forgot.
declare. So this is a new segment that we're adding to the podcast where we either get questions from the audience or we kind of come up with questions that we ask ourselves about our relationship and our time together. So Queen, on the Queen.
King.
On the path of fasting and just being intentional, what is one thing that Devon does that you can do without? Yeah, that's a good one, huh? One thing that you like, if I was gonna fast from something that king does, I could fast away from that a little bit. And then on the flip side, what's one thing that you intentionally enjoy and you want to continue to consume? All right. So you think about it. You want me to go first? Okay. One thing that I definitely want to remain intentional about consuming from the Queen is 2 things: is dancing. I feel like, you dancing is always good vibes, and I feel like you are happier and you radiate differently when you're dancing, when you're happy. So it's always good. Like you just did your Mood Forever dance, so like just watching you do that, filming that, but then also just watching you be happy about seeing it and like, oh, look, people like it. It was good vibes. So dancing for sure. Cooking, whipping up, y'all know the queen can throw down. Shout out to Thursday Throwdowns. But yeah, that's always just good and feeds my soul when you make some good stuff. Things that I can do without, I would say, are, and you're already getting better at this, but I think you're putting limits on something,
Mm.
right? And I feel like 2022 has been a good start. I feel like 2019, 2020 was the limiting year, but I feel like 2021 you kind of broke out of that consciousness and mentality. But yeah, getting even better at, no, like I can do this. We can do this. Devon, you can do this. I remember we had a conversation about just like how much to charge for health coaching, and you were just like, "Oh, I don't know how much to charge. Like, should I charge this or should I charge that?" And you were leaning towards the lower amount, and I was like, "You're worth way more than that. What are you doing? Like, no, that is there's no way I'm gonna let you charge that." So yeah, it's like really just getting in your bag and not having that limit consciousness, or that, what's it called, it's not limit consciousness, growth mindset. There's an opposite
Fixed mindset.
fixed mindset. See, I'm so growth mindset, I don't even remember
I
what
don't
the
even
opposite,
know what the other one
I
is.
don't even know what the other one is. But yeah, like just literally forgetting fixed mindset and focusing on growth mindset, and just knowing your worth in the universe.
Yes. I'll work on that.
Sounds good, Queen.
Something that I want to make sure that I continue to consume, and really take on and really listen to are the kind of the opposite, I guess. So for you, like the affirmations, the like, you can do this, you can charge this amount, you can get this many clients, you can. I feel like sometimes, honestly, it's like when you're surrounded by something, you get used to it. So sometimes it can like almost lessen in the value, if that makes sense.
Yep.
But I need to not let that happen, and still like, yes, I'm listening. Yes, I can do this, and I actually listen to what you're saying, and really embody that. Yeah, so that's something that I want to, the affirmations, the positivity from you, I want to make sure that I embody that, so that it really soaks in and can start to, like I said, be the thing that helps trigger some of those negative thoughts that I have and switch them over. And something that I could live without. Is that what that was the question?
Something like that. It's a long list, y'all. I said, come over with one thing. She's like, dang, just one?
No. I guess would be I'm trying to like figure out how to voice this.
I don't know if y'all can hear that.
Like sometimes you will give good suggestions, and I feel obligated to take those suggestions, even though I may not agree with it or think that it's the best way. And I feel like in the past, I would just go with whatever you said just because it was whatever you said. But I want to still be intentional about making my own decisions, so that I'm not just doing stuff because it's what you said. So that, yeah, like I can still be the main, I can still be, I don't want to say like in charge of my own destiny, but like still making active decisions for, my health coaching business. And although you are my business coach and my advisor, if you will, my sounding board, what I've started to do for you too is like, when you say like, do you want advice? My question to him is, am I obligated to take it? If it is, then just keep it to yourself. If I can though use it as advice and make my own decisions without hurting anybody's feelings, then give it to me. But I still want to be very I still want to be very cognizant of making my own decisions so that I can make my own decisions. 'Cause I'm an indecisive person. Sometimes I struggle making my own decisions. So if I never challenge myself to make my own decisions, then I'll never get better at it. And I'm always just gonna need to go and ask somebody what I should do. Um, so yeah, that's something that I want to be cognizant of. I don't know if that really answered the question.
You know, it does answer the question. I don't agree with the answer,
Of course.
but no, I do like that kind of aspect of when you open, you say, I might not listen to you.
Mhm.
That also, you know, sometimes I'm like, okay, well, I might not give you the advice, and it's like, hey, you know what, that's all good. Sometimes we don't need to do that. Sometimes you can do your lane, I can do my lane, and it works out. But I think that is a good to know, and have that open communication, especially because we're getting into, I think, a year when we're both so focused on business and we're
Mhm.
both like in each other's space so often.
Mhm.
So I feel like knowing how we want to communicate with each other and like what advice you want, what advice you don't want, and me vice versa, I think will just help with the cohesiveness of the relationship.
Right.
Right. So yeah, good stuff. That is the Ask Declare segment for today. Good, Queen?
Yes.
Cool. So getting into it, we're almost done. Last but not least, updates. And I know the Queen has some really dope updates that she may want to share with y'all. So, Queen, hit us with it. What are the updates for you this week?
I wish one of these was the burr, burr, burr. But first of all, I wanted to announce, 'cause I feel like I've mentioned the certification program on here. First, want to announce formally that I am Sinclair FDNP,
Ooh,
which is Functional Diagnostic Nutrition Practitioner. I am certified. Your girl is certified. Um,
certified.
certified. Yeah, so excited to have completed that program and be a certified health coach, here to bring your FDN needs to you. Update number one. Update number two, going along with that, is that I have a brand new program launching, and you can go to queencoaching.com and find out more information about the new program that is for my queens trying to lose weight and get healthier. If that is you, I'm talking to you, especially if you had any struggles with losing weight in the past. You've tried this, you've tried that. I hear you. I was you. I am you. And I created this program specifically for you. So come work with me. We're going to create a very customized program. That's what it's about. We're going to use some functional lab testing to get a very customized program that is going to help you drop that excess weight. So queencoaching.com. Go check out the program, book a discovery call so that we can talk and I can talk about if the program is right for you and how I can help you meet your goals.
Well done.
Lastly,
Yeah.
have a webinar coming up on the 19th. We're going to be talking about some mistakes that you might be making in your weight loss journey and how you can undo those and make the right choices. So webinar on the 19th. I think I'm doing 5 p.m. I have to check my schedule. I'll verify that in just 10 seconds. But Wednesday the 19th at 5 p.m. we're having a free webinar. So go to my Instagram at the Health Nerd or the True Health Forever Instagram, and you'll be able to register for that webinar in about an hour.
Well done.
Thanks.
First off, congratulations on getting seemingly, I don't know what you felt like on the inside, but outside you're getting more confident and better at communicating just what you're selling. Right. I feel like that whole queen to queen coaching.com pitch sounded really good. I was like, this is a good program. I need to look at this website. I was like, this is some cool stuff. So well done, Queen, on getting better at that. And second, I think Harry can make a dope little thing from just that video alone. Like a nice little reel, little TikTok, little something.
Harry, hook the sister up.
Harry, hook it up.
Nudge, nudge.
Hey, on my side, playblackwallstreet.com is still the main hub. Go ahead and get yourself a board game. We have about 297 7, I think, games left. And Black History Month, as y'all know, is right around the corner. So please go ahead and get yourself a game today before they sell out. Probably the most exciting thing is the new project and the new the new project on the Black History Adventures of Rose and Rodney. We did the voiceovers in December, right before the holidays. It was just fun to just be in that creative space with friends, families, and loved ones. Had a good little introductory meeting with some potential partners for the movie as well the other day, which is going to be cool if they become partners. That's just a really dope thing. But I think outside of it, just the concept of there's people out there who are seeing what we're doing through the board game, through the books, through the animated series, and they want to partner and they're willing to just sit down on a was it a Saturday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I'll sit down on a Saturday and like give up an hour of their time to talk about this concept, this vision. So yeah, that was just dope to get in that bag, right? Getting that conversation of what it looks like to really take the Black History Adventures of Rose and Rodney as an animated series to the next level. So yeah, real excited about that. It's gonna come out soon. We're gonna do a nice intimate release for our day ones for our core community where they can see the initial draft kind of the animation, which is coming along pretty nicely. But then we're gonna do a nice redo and have that done later on in the year. I don't want to commit to anything as of yet, but have it done later on in the year. And then lastly, I am on the tail end of finishing my 5th book. And this thank you very much. And this is going to be Launch It, the 7 steps to launch your business. Really taking some of the lessons, the expensive mistakes, and just things that we've experienced throughout our 4 or 5 years of entrepreneurship and business ownership, taking those lessons, other things that I've learned from other books like Think and Grow Rich, like Built to Last, like the 22 Immutable Laws of Marketing, like the 22 Immutable Laws of Branding, putting in those nuggets into one place, one book for entrepreneurs to be able to consume and launch their business. So that is coming out real soon. Got about a month left before that's done. If you're interested in getting the early access, go ahead and put Launch It inside of the comments and we will get you the early access. Okay. But so it's a good year. 2022 it's looking good. It's looking good. Right. Queen, you good? You got anything else?
That's it.
All good. All good. All right, beautiful people. As usual, we appreciate y'all for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast, where we try to live our best life through the lens of holistic health. I'm your host, Devon Truvel, creator of Black Wall Street, the board game.
I'm Sinclair, aka the Health Nerd.
We hope y'all stay healthy. We hope y'all stay mentally wealthy. And of course, we hope y'all stay true.
Thank you for tuning in to the True Health Forever podcast. We hope you learned something valuable that you can take and implement into your life. Now, we've all heard that sharing is caring, and this podcast is no exception. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend, a family member, a coworker, a stranger walking down the street, anybody who you think can level up from this message. As always, we appreciate your support, and we'll talk to you next week. Be well.